Okay, let's get started. Can anyone recap? So what we discussed in the last class? And even I gave you homework, right, on file permissions.
Yeah, how to create files.
Okay, so in the last class, we discussed how to create files, how to delete, how to modify, how to rename, copy, and how to change the file permissions, right? So today, it's a continuation to that. We will see some other commands. Okay, so let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yesterday we discussed this, how to give permissions, right? Using numbers and using characters as well. And today, so we discuss this chmod and ch. We already discussed this actually, how to change permissions, right? And ch group, I think in my local system it won't work because I don't have more than one group. Okay, so but I'll just simply tell you the how to use that. And UMask, it is mostly from admin sites, but it just we can hit and see what is the default for this one. Okay, and then we talk about these commands today. So with this, we'll close for today's class. Once we're done with this command that you're seeing on the screen. Okay. Any questions on previous class? Any previous class? I think we completed 2 classes so far. All right. So this is continuation of the in previous class. So we discussed how to create a file, how to delete, how to copy, how to rename, or how to change file permission, right? Now, so we understood how to change file permission, but at the same time, so I wanted to change the owner of the file or the group of the file, right? So basically, this is a command chown, okay? Change owner. With this command, we can do two things actually. One is at the same time, we can change the owner and group of the file. Okay, let's see. So this is, I'll take this as an example, and which is having data engineering, and then both are same as this is a group. Sorry, this is the owner of the file, and this is a group, the owner which belongs to actually. Okay, now so I have other user here, so that is Hadoop. Okay, operation not permitted. Why? Maybe I need to use right. So what I did now. So there are two things. One is SU, okay, and the other one is sudo. So basically, there are two things. SU nothing but super user. It's nothing but. So when you wanted to change your current, who is working on, so it's me, right? So the last class we discussed who logged in is data engineering, right? What is his role? Question, right? So that way, so because when we first tried, it is saying permission denied or operation not permitted because this user is not using his root privileges. So basically, the owner of this file is same data engineering, okay? And because here you see, right, it does not belong to any other group, no permissions. That is the reason the operation was not permitted because it is not having access to any other group. We cannot add delete. That's why we use sudoers. Sudoers nothing but it will use our root permissions to execute the command. Root nothing but it's an administrator or super user permissions. It would have everything that a user can do. But in general, right? So when you are working with a company, you will just be giving a normal user permissions where you can do whatever that you want within your home directory. What is our home directory? So home, okay, home followed by if you are having any employee ID or something else, so followed by that one. So let's say I'm Sai here, right? So my home directory would be home then Sai. So the how that is a way basically the home directories will be created. Okay, so you see, right? I mean, how we change owner and group of the file. So similarly, if we wanted to do that on a folder, right? So we need to use. So you can just simply press up or down arrows. So we'll see all the commands. So whatever that we discussed, I mean that we executed on the terminal, and we can just use this. Okay, and if I wanted to change permissions of folder called fold. So for this, I'm changing it, right? It's completed. See, for this fold, I changed both user, I mean owner and the group. Here you see that. So previously it was data eng and now it is Hadoop. Okay, this is all about the ch own. Right? Any questions on this command?
No, sir.
Right. So you see this U mask, right? 0002. What is it? As I was showing in the presentation, here it is. So basically for some systems, so basically this is in any corporate or company, right? They will use this. So if you see in my system, this is 002. So I'll tell you what happens with this one. So I'm creating a new file now, new file.txt, okay, and a new folder, that's it, okay. Now, you see, this one, right? So you see some permissions that are there defaulted, how it comes, right? How those works. So basically that depends on the UMask. UMask nothing but this defines the default permissions that we needed to give on a folder or a file. So let's say we have this as 0002, right? Let's come here. See, these are level just additional information, but you mostly don't have access to any other servers when you're working. Okay, but this will just explain you how it works. Right. So UMask is 002 and how many zeros were there? Right. So when it comes to folder and file. So for folder, we do 6 minus this one. So what we get? 664, right? And now for file, we do minus 002. It means so 775, right? Is that the same? Where is this? Okay. So you see on this, read write, and then read, right? And for this, I mean, for a new folder, right? I think it's different, incorrect. So new file, it should be different. This is file and this is folder. Okay, now this is correct, right? So basically the UMask will be set by your server admin, maybe 002 or 022 or something, whatever it is. Okay, so depends on that. Whenever we create some file or folder, the permissions will be calculated in this way. For file, it would be so 666 minus whatever the permission that we given, right? So 002, what it means? So it would be like this. So I have 666, okay, and then we have 002. So ignore the first zero, and you have, so when you subtract it, 664, right? This way, basically. So 664, this would be the permission on the file. So similarly, so when you are doing it for folder, so you will be doing it on 777. In this case, 775. Okay, that's how the default permissions will get calculated. Okay. All right. Any questions on this? And you ask, I mean, how the default permission will come on the file or folder? No questions? Okay, great. So again now, right? So we'll get into a new topic now. So these are the mostly used commands also when you are working with a company or you wanted to do something with the files. Okay. So most of this, right? Uh, Not every command you'll be used every day, but it would be more helpful if you know them, what to do and how do they help, right? Okay. First we'll go with head, tail, more, less. Okay. So let's get into this. We are here. I'll just bring one file from this. So what I'm doing here, what does this command do? I think we discussed this already in the last class. If I hit enter, so what will happen? Come on guys, very simple one. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm copying this file into my home location, right? This is nothing but the child, nothing but my home directory, right? So if you see where I'm now, here, that is the meaning of it. Okay, now we have this file here. Okay, so head tail, right? So basically head will print the first 10 lines by default in any file, in given file. Okay, so you see, right? These are the first 10 lines in the file. So similarly, the tail, right, it will display append. Sorry. Yeah. So what it will do, right? So head and tail. So head will bring you the first 10 lines. Tail will bring you last 10 lines. But here, all right, so you can still modify this. So if you wanted to print first 20 lines, right? So you can use this way, right? Till print. So this is an option. So if you wanted to print one line, two lines, or 100 lines, whatever it is, so you can mention even something like this, 4 or 5. Okay. So this is a head command. It's very simple. So if you wanted to print first, I mean, from the start, if you want to print from few lines, you can use this head command, and you can always use, I mean, it's an option, but if you wanted to bring, I mean, the specific number of lines, right, you can just give that as an input. So similarly, tail also support this. So if you wanted to print only first, I mean, last 5 lines of the file, I mean, file, so just use tail hyphen, the number of lines that you want, followed by the file name. Okay. But again, so let's say I wanted to print maybe eighth, I mean, so let's say our file has 100 lines. Okay. But I wanted to print only line number 20 to 25. In that case, how do we do that? Right? See, let's say as an example. So this comes will, I mean, people might ask this in an interview. So it's like I have a file with 100 lines, right? But I would like to print only 25 to 30 lines. How to do that, right? So what we do in this case, we use head to print first 30 lines in the file. So then we pass this into the next command, which will print you the last 5 lines. So how this works, right? So how this works means, so this is a pipe character which will pass the output of previous command to the next command. So I'll show you this with an example. Now I'm doing is, I'm just doing 30 lines of this one. We have 30 lines, right? So now if I use this pipe and if I hit tail, it will bring me last 10 lines. See, it starts with otherwise or something from here to this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including the blank lines as well, right? So what it is doing basically, so what is the output that is printing by this head command? It is passing this to the next tail command. So now if I wanted to print only the 5, I can simply use this. That's it. It will give you the 5 lines. It's that simple. It's very similar if you wanted to see some 10 to 15 lines from the bottom. So you can reverse it. Maybe you can do tail, then take the head that way. So depends on the need. You can use this head and tail interchangeably. Okay. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Great. And what is more and what is less? More and less, they are mostly same. So more nothing but see if I hit cat of license.txt, you see it is a multi-page output, right? You need to scroll everything up and down. But in some cases, right? Maybe if you wanted to read page by page, right? How do we do that? So we can simply use more than followed by file name. So every time it will give you only the page, one page at a time. If you use up or down, it doesn't work. You need to use space. When I hit space, it will go to the next page. Like whatever the file contents, right? It will divide into multiple pages and it will show us one page at a time when you use more. Okay, simply this one. And if you'd like to exit from this mode, just press Q. That's it. So less is again same. That's it. I mean, it would be similar to that. I don't see that much difference in there. Okay, but this more and less will be helpful. So when it's a large file and if you wanted to look at page by page, so you can go with more or less command. And even you can use view to look at the file, but view is only read only. So it will not allow us to change or modify the file. Okay. So, and then it's like in a read only notepad. So you can open the file in a notepad, but it will not allow us to edit it. It's similar basically. And if you want to exit, press escape, then colon, then Q. That's it. So what we discussed so far? So it is like so we discussed head, tail, more, less, and view. So these are all used to view or display file content. Right. Let's move on to the other commands. Okay. So cut and tr and wc. We'll see these three. So I have license.txt. I'm just wanted to use. So this also works. So even you can do this way, right? So you can use cat and then pass it to head. It will print us the first 10 lines. So what does this cut will do? Any guesses? By looking at the command name, so can you guess? I mean, what it will cut or what it will do? Any guesses, guys? Okay, so basically cut, right? So if you wanted to extract something from a file or from text, right? So this can be used. Okay. Okay. So let's say I'm doing this cat, just using this now. Cut hyphen C 1, 3. What it does? See, let's say I'll do this way, hit and then cut. Again, doesn't print anything. But basically what it will do, right? So I'll give you another example. So 90, and I'll give this to cut. Now what it does? Not able to guess? So cut hyphen C followed by 1, C, nothing but. So let's say I have it. So I wrote this, right? But basically how the Linux system will refer this when we use this cut command followed by hyphen C. So basically hyphen C nothing but we cut the file based on the columns. So by default, what it does, right? The first letter, right, in the file or something that we given as input, it will treat that as first column. This is second column. This is third column. This is fourth column, like that. So if there are 100 characters in the line, so it will assume there are 100 columns in the file. And followed by what I'm doing, 1, 3. So the meaning of this is, so I wanted to print only first and third columns from this one. So what is the first and third column? So it is of 1 and then followed by the third is a 3. Okay. So basically there are some parameters that cut will use. Okay. So we'll see what are they actually before we proceeding. So I just wanted to give you what is a rough idea of what will cut will do. Okay. So with cut, right? So I'll teach you. So what is exactly that we use more often? Okay. So followed by options. It might be a delimiter, a column by, or bytes mostly. Okay. So what do you mean by byte? Byte nothing but 1 byte will store 1 character. Okay. Let's see an examples of these 3 options using some this the file that we have. I will create some sample file now. Vi sample cut.txt. I'm just giving some names. Okay. Tell me some country names. I'll do India, England, Europe, USA, South Africa. So maybe you can say tell me your favorite cricket country. Mostly you must say India. Other than India, maybe Australia, right? Just save it. So I will teach you this VI command, how to edit and create files, maybe later, right? So, right. So now what I'm doing, I'm using this bytes now. I wanted to print 1, 2, 3 bytes from this sample cut. So 1, 2, 3, I was telling you, right? So 1 byte will be storing 1 character. So now what I'm doing, I'm extracting the first 3 characters in the file, starting from 1, 2, 3, right? So if you don't give anything, we'll see what will happen. See, when you use some options, so you also need to provide the input for the options in this case. Okay, so in that way, the command, right, it would be like this. So the options, so any of these options, not all at once. Okay, and then specify the number or range, and then input. So basically you need to specify one of these options and then followed by, if you wanted to specific column or specific byte, right? You can give that, or you can also give a range. Range nothing but I mentioned here, right? So I wanted to print from 1 to 3 characters, from starting from 1 and ending with a 3, right? That is a range. But other way, right? I can even see this. See what is the difference now? We only printed first and third characters. The second one we are not interested in this command. So the other way, so you can also do 1 to 10, right? So this is a behavior of cut command using this byte option. Okay. So again, so are you clear with this one using byte option with a cut command?
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll move with a -c, right? That we already discussed, which is column based. So again, same, I'll just do -c. It will give us the same output because in this file, each character is a column. I mean, if you see in the vertical, see horizontal, nothing but this is horizontal, okay, which is in line. The vertical, nothing but this way, top to bottom. Okay, left to right is nothing but a horizontal, and top to bottom is like a vertical lines. So vertically, so it's like it will treat every character like it's a column. Okay, so that's what the meaning it is. So mostly, right, in the real time, right, we use this mostly dot hyphen d followed by some delimiter. Hyphen d nothing but it's a delimiter and the input here. Input. We'll see an example on this one. See, I have file.txt, okay, but I would like to remove this backup. How can we do that? See, two ways. Maybe it's a simply right. So we can just use copy and use file.txt underscore backup to a simple file.txt. This will work, right? But in real time, right? In real time, if you are dealing with some hundred or thousands of files, and if you'd like to remove something on the file part, depends on some criteria. How do you do that? So in that case, this cut command will be helpful. I'll show you an example. Let's say I'll just print this, okay? Echo nothing, but it will just print you whatever the input that you are showing. See, it simply prints whatever that we are given in the double quotes and will give us the same. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll pause this output to cut, followed by I would like to remove the backup and I'm only interested in the first part, file.txt. So what I'll do is right. So I'll use cut using this delimiter underscore. See again. So even with this hyphen D as well. So you need to mention what you wanted to display or what you are extracting actually. The other way, see you given this option cut hyphen D followed by underscore, right? What it will do, it will break this file.txt underscore backup like this. So this will now become file.txt, okay? And the other one is backup. It will split this actually, okay? So now there are two fields. This is field 1 and this is field 2. Which one we are interested in? We want field 1, right? So all I'll do, that's it. So cut command will be helpful in this way. So if you wanted to print some columns from the file or uh, you wanted to print only some part of the file vertically or a column wise, or you'd like to do some operations on the file names or any text, it's not only limited to file names or anything. Whatever that you have in the output, you can, or in the input, you can pause it. So I'll tell you another way. See, in some cases, you might see the timestamp, right? I mean, today is this. Let's say I'm taking some date today. What is the date? So we can even print date this way. Okay. And time will also come. Okay. So this is not correct. Okay. Even so, date only give us date. The time will print. So it's like when we logged in. So it's not tracking it, but ignore that. So date, right? So in some cases this is okay, but this is a default system date. But I'll give you an example. So when you are working or start working with a company, you always see date format this way. So this is day, then month, followed by year. There is a space and the time. So time now is 09:48, some 30 seconds, right? So this is my date. So in this case, if I would like to separate these two, I mean, I wanted to separate, store this date in some other way, and I mean, other way, nothing, but I would like to store this date only, this timestamp. Or if I wanted to extract what is the timestamp of this column, right? So in that way, we can use this. So this is like a sample real-time example, basically, right? When you are dealing with files in the Linux, but this would be very rare because nowadays everyone is moving from on-premise to cloud. So you may get very less chances to work with Linux. So now I used F2, right? But it is giving full thing. Why? The full contents it's giving. Do you know the reason? Come on, guys, you can see that error in the command. We're not even talking today. Guys, can you hear me? Are you able to follow me? Otherwise, I mean, don't see you're saying something today.
Yeah, followed.
I am only talking, and you're not just talking anything. You're not even asking any questions. At least unmute and say if you are able to understand. Say yes. Otherwise, I'll repeat whatever I'm saying.
Yeah, understand. Yes, sir, understand.
Okay, great. Okay, so why we are seeing everything else? I was just looking at the field too, but I'm getting everything, right? The reason is I'm using this underscore, which is not in this statement, right? Or in the input. So if it doesn't find anything, so it will print everything. So now what I'll do is I'll do with the space, right? Okay. So in this case, again, I would like to do something else, right? If I use colon, right? So now why it is giving 48? Why means what I'm doing, I'm displaying this and this will be passing to the cut command. What I'm doing now on this delimiter nothing but the separator here. The separator nothing but, see there are three separators here. One is hyphen, that is a dash, and there is a space, and there is a colon. So when I say colon, right, what it will do? So it works like this. So when I use hyphen D colon, right? So this will be converted into this. This is field 1. Okay. And the field 2 would be, it would be like this. And this would be the second field. And there would be some other thing left, that is 30. Right. So whenever there is a delimiter that we used to cut this statement, so for everywhere, like this would become like this. Now there are three things. So this is the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part. We are cutting into three different things, right? So and then what I did, I used F2. Now F2 will be, so this is a field 1, this is a field 2, and this is a field 3. Okay, that's why it's giving us 48. So, but if I wanted to use F2 to F3, this one also we can do. Oh, wait, invalid field value. 1, 2, 3 should be 3 should come. Mm, something wrong. This should allow us to get the range basically. Okay. 1, 2, F3. No, something is wrong. So basically, when I say F1 followed by dash, right, it will print everything till the end. Okay, but it should allow us for a range. Yeah, I think I should not be using F2 again. So it's like F2 2 3 field 2 to 3. Okay, so this is all about cut command. Okay, and we'll go to the other commands quickly. TR and WC. So WC is very simple. So WC license.txt, what it is giving. So WC will give us for an input the number of, if it is a file, it will give us this is number of files, this is number of words, these are characters, number of characters in the file. So let's say I'll tell you an example. So I would like to find out how many there, right? This way also we can do WC hyphen L, L nothing but lines. It's giving us the same. Okay, and words will give us this, and number of characters is give that. Basically, WC is having these three options: lines, words, and characters. So it's nothing but so the short, I mean the full form of this word count. So you can understand that we are remember this way. So it will give us number of lines in the file, the words in the file, and the total characters in the file. Is that simple? Okay, and even you can use this way. I mean lines are otherwise just words. Yeah, so you can use this way as well. Okay, this is a word count, and then we have this tr nothing but translator. That way you can understand. Translator nothing but it will not convert text to speech or speech to text. It's not like that, but it will convert your text as per the input that you give. Okay, I'll tell you an example. See what is a file name here? License.txt, right? So what I'll do is I'll pass this to this one and I'll do so now what I did. So basically the translation nothing but you can deal with converting your letters from upper to lower, or you want to delete some letters, you can do it. So that way we can use tr. Okay. So the other way to use this tr, right? So basically it will accept some parameters. I say fancy. See, 5 years saying that. I just used this randomly, but you got this. Anyhow, I'll give you some proper example for this. So I'm printing something on the screen. Hi, good morning. Right? And now, okay, I'm passing this to tr command. So today is 5th August. What I do now, I'll just use cd. Okay. Did you see the output here? Phi is printed. So see, this has two options here. I'll come to that point, what it is. Are you able to follow me what I'm saying? tr command. So options will be C, T, and T something like -S. Right. C nothing but complement. D nothing but delete. This is truncate and suppress. We'll see one of the example for each one. See, I use this right. I mean -cd, nothing but delete everything that is 0 to 9. But when I use -c, that is a complement. Nothing but other than this 0 to 9, delete everything. That is the meaning. So that's the reason we just see phi is printed. The other way, if I use just only d, right? See, the phi is deleted. The difference is when I use C with the option right, it will reverse out. If I wanted to print, if I use -c, it will allow us to, it will say don't print. That way, basically. So negating the operation or reversing the operation. Okay. And dw. I would say so. What is output now? So you may thought of I will be deleting good from this statement. It's not like that. It will delete all the characters whichever is matching. Let's say hi, then good morning, right? So in the good morning, so 4 characters match with the good, then it's deleted. And then in the morning, so there is O that is there and G is there, that is deleted. And today there is O. So like that, whichever the matching character, it will delete everything in the statement. D nothing but delete. And then -s. Do you see any change in the output? No, right? So now this will give you an output. Now I'll do this. Now you see I added some extra spaces here, but when I use this tr-s, right, and with a space, So it's deleting the unnecessary spaces. So that is the meaning of this. C nothing but, sorry, it is S is nothing but suppress. Suppress followed by any option. So I used a space here, nothing but it will allow one space here and rest it will be deleted. That is the meaning of this suppress. Okay. So for this tr command we discussed the D and S option, even the complement option as well. Okay. So again, so basically when to use this tr command. Most of the times when you are dealing with any text based input, right? So if you wanted to do convert from lower to upper, upper to lower, or you'd like to delete something on the statements, right? Or characters. To delete any character that is given in the input, you can use that tr and do your required work on the text based files, mostly on the text. Okay. So we'll go with the other command. So anyhow, so we have seen this date. The calendar is very simple. You just need to use cal. That's it. It will give us this one, but we don't use this much. Okay. Anyhow, so date will be used very much. So date will help us. I mean, it's like, there are some options. Okay. So this will just give you the format. I mean, we will talk about this date command tomorrow. Okay. So I think we are already completed 1 year, one time 10. Any questions on today's class? And we just completed this first part. I mean, head, tail, more, less, cut, tr, wc, even this calendar. I'll also cover this echo. Also, we have seen. I mean, the most recent commands I use echo is just to. It's like any other programming language you use print. Just similar to that echo, nothing but it will print whatever the input that we give on the console or on the terminal. And we also seen this who and who am I. So who and who am I nothing but that will give us who am I will print you who logged in. This is me. Okay. And who nothing but when this user logged in. Okay. Along with the user. If there are multiple users that logged into the server, it will print everyone's details. If you have access or if administrator allowed to execute these commands. Okay. And then so we have two more commands, df and du. What is a difference, right? We'll cover these two and we'll sign off for the class. So df, right? It simply will give us whatever the mount points and the available space. Okay. So if you see, this is a file system that is mounted to this Linux box. Okay. And then what is the space available and the percentage used. Okay. So basically this is used mostly by the administrators to just check the status of the entire server. I mean, whether the server is running out of space or nothing but so they'll do this way. The other one is du. I'll tell you what where we are now. Why it is showing this many? So du nothing but disk usage. I'll give you an example. Okay, this is 16. So what is 16? 16 nothing but it's 16 bytes. Is that right? You don't know what is 16. So that way I'll use -h. It is saying 16K. 16K nothing but that is kilobytes. du-h, that's nothing but it will give us the file size or the folder size followed by the units. This is 16K, 16 bytes. And if I am here, Okay, sorry. So I have this. I installed all the Hadoop and Java and everything here. See, it is giving us the file sizes here overall, but it's giving everything. And again, if I use Spark, again, it's just giving us what consolidated, what is the whole size of the Spark folder. But again, if I come back one level back, and if I use this on OPT, right? See, this is total 2.6 GB in size. G nothing but GBs, M nothing but megabytes, K nothing but kilobytes. Okay, so this is also a administrator based command, but mostly any user can also hit this command and get the size of the files. Again, there is one more. Oh God. Again. So this is one command which will show you where this mounted. See, mount point nothing but it is a separate storage that is attached to the system. Basically, for any server, right, in real time, so there will be different storages that administrator will mount them actually. So it's like storage A will be mounted on this one, storage B mounted on this one. Whether it's like our project A is mounted onto this mount point, which is stored on the disk A. That way, basically. So you'll understand more when you read about that, but it's not that needed for you. It is all administrator kind of things. So basically df find du, it will be used to find the storage available and storage used. Okay, mostly that is the reason we use it. And if you see df, right, so it will give us what are the mount points are there and how much it is used. That's it. See, this is the mostly thing that we use. Okay, so out of which even you can use df-sh, if1h, it will allow human readable, nothing but h, nothing but human readable. You can understand that way. So we use 11 GB out of 13 GB. Total is 25. This is the meaning of it. Okay. All right. So we discussed most of these comments, and the important ones like find, grep. Okay. We will see them tomorrow. Okay. And I will also teach you this VI editor, how to create, edit files. Okay. In Linux editor. Okay. So we covered the overall commands today, right? I'll list everything out here again. Right. So when we started, we start with what? Ch own, followed by, yeah, you tell me actually, you must remember these comments that we discussed. Head, tail, more, less, cut, PR, PU, DF, who, whom I, calendar, right? Anything else that we missed to add here? One more simple command, right? So in some cases, right, you'll be keep on executing some commands, and if you wanted to look at the previous command that you executed, you can just please use this history command. It will give us every command that we used. It will give us everything. What are the commands that we hit actually? Okay, you see, right? So it's giving us from the beginning, but in real time it will not do because I didn't any do any settings as such. That's the reason. Okay. So history command will give you all the history that you mean history of the commands that you are executed as a user. And again, this will be limited to you only. So if you wanted to see the other people they are executing, you cannot see. It will only show you the commands that you executed. All right. So any questions in today's class?
No, sir.
So are you able to follow me or any questions, any feedback if I'm going too fast or too slow? Like to say something?
No, sir.
Sorry? You don't want to say or nothing to say?
Nothing to say.
I see Ramasubba Reddy joined this time. It's first time.
Yes, sir. First time, sir.
Yeah. So is it the first time you joined or you are there on the demo class?
No, no, first time, sir. This is first class.
So can you give us your introduction? I mean, it's
So
like,
my name is Ram Subba Reddy.
yeah, yeah, go on.
Tell me, sir.
Yeah, we are just expecting. So what is your qualification and if you are working, where you are working?
Sir, I am currently working in pharma industry, sir.
Okay. So are you on IT side or it's like completely in a pharma?
Yeah, IT side, IT, sir. I am looking for IT.